8086 microprocessor, which is a 16-bit microprocessor. So first in this part we need to discuss about the architecture of 8086 microprocessor. Basically the architecture of 8086 microprocessor is going to be different compared to earlier processors, and the most modern processors are going to think that is 8086 processor is going to be a basic processor for the most advanced processor. The 8086 processor is split into two parts. One is execution unit and another one is a bus interfacing unit. Bus interfacing unit is mainly responsible for fetching the data from the external storage memory into the processor, and whereas the execution unit is responsible for execution of the data which is received from the bus interfacing unit. The registers and the digital logic structure which is required for the fetching of the data is available in the bus interfacing unit, and the registers and the digital logic structure which is needed for the execution of unit is available in the execution unit. So first let us discuss about the registers and the bus digital logic structure that is there in the bus interfacing unit. Mainly in the bus interfacing unit we have the segment registers. Compared to other microprocessor, 8086 is going to adopt segmentation architecture concept, where the available memory is divided into basically 16 segments, each segment size of a 64 kilobytes. So whenever any programs comes for the execution, the processor is going to allocate the 4 segments, and those 4 segments are core segment, data segment, stack segment and the extra segment. The function of each segment is different, and they are going to handle the dedicated function. Apart from these 4 segments, we have one more register here, that is instruction pointer. These are core segment, data segment, stack segment and extra segment. These are the 16-bit registers, and they hold the starting address of the respective segment in the given memory. Next comes to the address generation block. This address generation block is responsible for generating the address by combining the offset address and the segment address. Due to this one, even though the size of the processor is a 16-bit, the memory that is connected to the microprocessor is going to be extended to 1 megabyte. And here the segment base address is going to be added with the corresponding offset address to generate the 20-bit physical address. Apart from these segment registers, we have the one more important logic here, that is instruction queue. The instruction queue is a 6-byte instruction queue. The function of this instruction queue is to fetch the program, fetch the instruction from the memory before execution of the current instruction. So here, to increase the efficiency of your microprocessor, the processor is going to fetch the instruction in advance, and we call this concept as a instruction pipelining. Because of this instruction pipelining, the efficiency is increased to 100%. The size of this instruction queue is 6 bytes. Next we move to the execution unit. As I told earlier, the execution unit is mainly responsible for the execution of the program or execution of your data which is received from the bus interfacing unit. Execution unit is not at all going to interact with the external memory, and bus interfacing unit is not at all involved in the execution of the program. Here the task of the bus interfacing unit and the execution unit are separate. They are going to work individually. So execution unit is consisting of various registers. These registers are categorized into basically 6 types of register. The first is general purpose register. These registers are the general purpose register which are used for the processing of a data. We have basically 4 16-bit registers, AX, BX, CX and the DX. These registers can be used as a 8-bit register, AL, AH, BL, BH, CL, CH, DL and DH. Apart from the general purpose work, these registers have some special function which will be discussed further. Then we have 2 pointer registers which are going to be called as stack pointer and the base pointer, and these are the 2 registers which are needed for generation of the physical address along with the segment address. Next comes to 2 index register, SI and the DI. These index registers also plays a vital role for generation of the 20-bit address whenever we are accessing the data in the array format. Next comes to instruction pointer. Instruction pointer is a register which is going to hold the offset address which is needed for the fetching the data from your code segment. So it is acting like a something program counter in other processor. Next comes to segment registers, CS, DS, SS, ES, which we have discussed already in our bus interfacing unit, and which is the last one is a flag register. Flag register is nothing but it is a program status word which indicates the status of the program. So whether the program the result is overflowed or any carry is generated, or whether the even number of ones or number of ones are there, that is going to be indicated with the flag register. So here we have the each register individual contribution, that is AX register, which is going to be act as a, apart from the general purpose work, it is going to be act as an accumulator for the AX for 16-bit operation. AX will be called as accumulator for 16-bit operation. When it comes to an 8-bit operation, AL is going to be called as a accumulator. For special instruction, for example division in the multiplication instruction, where one of the operand has to be stored in the accumulator, such times for if it is 16-bit multiplication, AX will be act as accumulator. When it is 8-bit operation, AL is going to be act as a accumulator. Next comes to BX register. Apart from the general purpose register, BX register is also going to act as a base register, which is used to hold the base address of the memory data while using the base addressing mode. Next come to count register. So one beautiful thing about the 8086 processor when it compared to earlier processor like 4004 or 8085, here we can directly use the count register. We have an instruction, loop instruction, where directly we are going to write down the loop instruction without mentioning the how many times that count is to, how many times that instruction has to be repeated. So to use the loop instruction, the count value has to be stored in the count register. Next comes to DX register. Apart from the general purpose work, the DX register is also plays a vital role during the input output operation. Whenever we transfer the data other than memory, or whenever we are receiving the data from other than memory, we use the in and out instruction. To store the address of the device, we use the DX register, and DX register is going to play a vital role in the input output operation. Next comes to the stack pointer, which is again 16-bit register. The stack pointer will hold the top of the stack address. This stack pointer will get combined with the stack segment to generate the 20-bit address which is needed to access the data. Next comes to base pointer. The base pointer is going to hold the base value in the base addressing register mode, so which is going to be used in the SSH. Apart from the stack pointer, base pointer is also get combined with the stack segment to generate the 20-bit address. Next we have another two important register. One is in the source index and the data index. So source index and data index, these are the two registers used to access the data or store the data in the array form. So apart from the general purpose work, these are the additional work of these registers. Next comes to the segments. As we told, that is complete 1 MB memory is divided into total 64 segments, and depending upon our storage data, so we can use the segments separately or overlapped segments. So but the maximum size of each segment should not cross more than 64 kilobyte. So first one is a code segment. So code segment register is a 16-bit register. This code segment register get combined with the instruction pointer and to generate the 20-bit address. Generally the code segment register points the code segment which holds the code of a program. Next comes to data segment register. The data segment register also is a 16-bit register. This data segment register holds the starting location of your data segment, and data segment is the one which holds the operands, the data of the program. Next comes to stack segment register. The stack segment register holds the base address of the stack segment, and this stack segment plays very important role during the procedure execution, that is execution of the functions. So in 8086 we call them as a procedures, but in high level language we call them as a function. During the execution of these procedures, stack segment register plays very important role, and this stack segment register will get combined with the stack pointer or base pointer to generate the 20-bit physical address. Next comes to extra segment register. Extra segment register which holds the base address of the extra segment, and this extra segment along with the data segment is used, and the size of this extra segment is also a 64 kilobyte. Next, very important, instruction pointer. Instruction pointer is something like a program counter in other processors, and this instruction pointer holds the 16-bit offset address which is needed for the code segment accessing. Next, this is the overall picture of the architecture, and here, as I told earlier, the instruction queue. The size of this instruction queue is 6 bytes, which access the instruction while execution of the present instruction. So In detail operations, we will discuss in the next class, where we are going to concentrate the function of each register individual with the examples. Thank you.